Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, we'll learn about Schaumburg Community Bee Garden. Then we'll speak with the Schaumburg Library about their summer concert series. We'll close out the program with a look at the Prairie Centers summer theater production of Kiss Me Kate. All of this and more today here on Speaking of Schaumburg. Earlier this year, Schaumburg joined a number of communities throughout the country by opening the village's first public bee yard. Here to tell us about the project are the village's landscape and sustainability planner, Martha Dooley, and Kevin McGregor of the Cook DuPage Beekeepers Association. Well, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell us about this bee yard. What is a bee yard and where's the bee yard and why should we want a bee yard?
Well, a bee yard is a place where people would put their beehives to participate in the hobby of beekeeping. And the village created this bee yard because people would might find it difficult to have a beehive on their own property. The village would require a special use permit and approval process to have a beehive in their own yard. This enables residents to have their beehives in the bee yard. They don't have to go through a special approval process or anything like that. They would simply contact me. We'll fill out the proper paperwork, make sure that their beehives are registered with the state of Illinois, and then they can start their beekeeping hobby with the village.
Where's it located?
It's located on a vacant parcel on Plum Grove Road, just south of Schaumburg Road. The address is 200 South of Plum Grove Road, but you wouldn't see an address out there. It's a vacant parcel.
Jurgen Creek runs right along the south part of that property, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and that makes it a nice location for the bees, because they like water.
Now, you're involved in beekeeping, I suspect, for a number of years. How'd you get involved with it?
It started when I was about 6 years old, discovered a beehive in my neighbor's yard and got stung, and I fell in love.
Your introduction,
yeah,
really hurt me again.
Well, we raised dogs, and
okay.
Anything that could defend itself when you were mistreating it was always interesting to me, so
okay.
Like my little brothers and sisters. And I found that once I started learning more about bees, I began to learn how important they were, and I've been following it all my life. And then a few years ago, when colony collapse became such a pronounced problem across the country and even in other parts of the world, that's when I started looking into keeping bees myself.
Tell us a little bit about the colony collapse. What's happening with this epidemic of
colony collapse is
hive collapsing?
It mainly happens out in rural areas. There are lots of guesses about what might be causing it. I think maybe the preponderance of evidence is pointing towards a certain type of pesticide. We'll see. The European Union is experimenting with that right now.
Not caused by mites or anything?
No, only in the sense that if a person who has AIDS dies of pneumonia, it isn't pneumonia that killed him, it's AIDS that killed him. So
okay.
It's the underlying cause, they believe.
Sure. What kind of pesticides can be used then? I mean, obviously you got farmers out there that are going to want to use that to preserve their crops.
Oh, certainly.
So
and,
you
a great many pesticides have been tested and are shown safe for use in areas where you keep bees. But there's a new class that was introduced in 2003 in Canada, United States, and across the globe. And
new class of pesticide?
Correct.
And that's causing, they feel it's causing the...
Some scientists believe that is what's behind it all.
Okay, what's being done? What's being done to mitigate that?
The European Union recently put a 2-year ban on its use, so they're going to be gauging the recovery of beehives in Europe. The United States and Canada are waiting to see, I think, what direction that goes in before they make any decisions.
You have hives of your own?
I do.
And how large is the property where you have the hives?
My hives are in the Hanover Park Community Apiary.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's about a quarter of an 11-acre lot with room to expand, and Hanover Park is thinking of opening satellite sites too if interest is high, and so far interest has been pretty good.
How many hives do they have?
Right now there are 18, and we're expanding to, I think there are 2 or 4 more ready to come in the next 2 weeks.
Any complaints from neighbors?
None. Everyone is very happy with the bees there.
Okay, well that's good, that's good. Now what about our project? How far along have we come as far as our bee garden is concerned?
Well, our bee garden was established this spring, and construction of it was delayed somewhat because of all the rain we had. I mean, this was an extremely wet spring, and we couldn't get trucks or vehicles back in there to install the fencing, put the gravel base down, or anything like that. But it did open in April, And we have 3 participants signed up to participate in the bee yard this year. So
Residents of Schaumburg?
yeah, all 3 are residents of Schaumburg. Yeah.
Okay. And what is this? If somebody wants to get involved in this hobby, involving our bee garden, what would they do? What should they do?
Well, they could go onto our village website and type the words bee yard into the search box, and it'll take them right to the webpage all about beekeeping in Schaumburg. And on that webpage, we explain what the process would be if they want to keep a beehive on their own private property, and what they would do if they wanted to participate in the bee yard.
What kind of cost is involved here?
There's no cost to participate in our bee garden, none at all. There is a $603 fee to go through the special use process to have a bee yard on your private property.
Okay, but this isn't, well, they don't have to go through special use though, do they?
That's correct. They can avoid that whole process by participating in the bee yard.
Okay.
You know, many communities don't allow beekeeping at all. And I think that's the fact. I think that's the case in Hanover Park.
Not on private property. That's why
Right.
part of the reason they created the community apiary.
Sure.
And again, to give people who live in condominiums or some other place where they can't keep bees a chance to keep bees close to home. A lot of beekeepers travel 3 hours to take care of their hives, and that's too far to go.
Tell me the process here now. Let's say, okay, I want a beehive. Right? I want a beehive in the bee garden. Maybe the beer garden too. But okay, I call you. What is your phone number?
It's 847-923-3855.
Okay, so they call the number and they say, I want to be involved here. What do you tell them?
Okay, so first I would want to see if they have any experience or if they've attended any classes on beekeeping. I want to gauge the level of experience they have.
Where can they attend classes on beekeeping?
There are classes throughout the community. Carroll Stream had a class earlier this year. Right, the College of Lake County offers classes in beekeeping. I took 1 or 2 of those.
Okay.
I think McHenry County College might also offer some beekeeping classes. So people should watch their schedules as they come out.
Okay.
You know, the adult education schedules that come
Okay.
out, and they can seek out some education there. It's really
now,
helpful.
Okay, they go through
Yep.
the class and everything. Okay, now they're all educated about it. Now what?
Right, so then they would buy their beekeeping equipment. They would order their bees.
Where do they buy their beekeeping equipment? I never saw it at Jewel or Dominic's or something.
Yeah, Home Depot doesn't
Home
sell it.
Depot, right.
Yeah.
Sam's Club or,
Yeah, so they'll learn about that actually in the class they take. But they can also search the internet for beekeeping supply houses, vendors and things like
Okay.
that.
So they find a vendor, okay. Then
So what I did the first time I had beehives in my yard was I called these people. I actually went and visited a friend of mine that had 26 hives. And I said, hey, can you help me pick out the equipment I need? So really, it's pretty highly recommended. Wouldn't you say that you get a mentor or somebody that'll help you get involved?
Would the village help somebody in that regard?
I can help them out, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, since I do it myself, I can kind of help
Okay.
them through the
Right.
process.
Now,
yeah.
there's some folks out there that see bees as being dangerous, How do you overcome that?
Once people get a chance to see that bees really aren't interested in them at all, unless you're producing nectar and pollen like a flower, a bee doesn't want anything to do with you. They want to find food for their babies. They want to keep their home safe, and just like any person.
When bees, why do bees swarm? I had a bee swarm in my yard years and years ago.
A swarm is the way a hive reproduces itself. If it makes it through the winter, then it's got successful genetics. The hive starts to get crowded. They start backfilling in their brood chamber, what's called. It's where they raise their baby bees. They backfill it with honey. That cues certain other behaviors in the hive, like raising new queens. At some point when the new queens are ready to hatch, the old existing queen who made it through the winter will take about half the hive's population and create what's called a swarm. It will leave the hive and then look for a new place to live. And then the new queen will hatch a few days later and take over what's left in the hive. It's a natural way that hives reproduce themselves, and that's the only time you would use the word swarm is in the reproductive process of a hive.
I mean, and they don't swarm to hurt people, they swarm to...
No. They're only looking for a new place to live.
Okay, and they send out scouts and...
Exactly, and they'll go out about 3 miles looking for a new place to live. And a swarm is probably the most gentle you'll ever find bees. Bees only sting to defend themselves and to defend their home and their babies. A swarm has none of those things. So you can almost literally put your arm right through the middle of them and they'll leave you alone.
So when do you harvest the honey? You got a hive, it's successful, when do you do it and how do you do it?
Really,
Yeah, it depends on the weather and how productive the year has been.
But maybe after the spring garden flow, you know, when most of the flowers bloom in the spring, you might be able to harvest some honey. And then again in the fall, usually I would say late October-ish, after the prairie, the goldenrod and all that maybe has finished flowering, then maybe you'd
When do you harvest your honey?
Again. I did mine around Labor Day last year, which was way too early. I talked to some other beekeepers that said they left their hives longer and they got much more honey with the fall flowers.
How much honey can you expect from a typical hive?
Say 30 to 60 pounds per hive, maybe about.
And
30 to 60 pounds
on the most
per hive?
productive year, I've seen 300 pounds off of one hive, but that's a very rare occurrence. Yeah.
Wow. What do you do with all the honey? What do you do with all the honey? I mean,
we sell it at farmers markets, and
Okay.
also we sell some as through fundraising efforts for the village of Hanover Park.
okay, all right. How much honey has Rodney Craig been able to extract from his bee yard? It's a bee garden here. It's a bee yard.
They're
over
the
there.
private owners in the bee yard, so I don't know
Okay.
exactly how much has been pulled from each hive, but the village's hives have pulled about 100 pounds so far.
Okay. Well, that's fascinating. And you've been involved in this ever since you got stung by a bee, huh?
I've always been in love with bees, yeah. Since I could crawl away from my mother.
Well, thank you, Martha.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Music is in the air at Schaumburg's Town Square. Find out what the Schaumburg Library has in store for their summer concert series next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. In addition to offering a wide variety of classes and programs year-round, each summer the Schaumburg Township District Library presents the weekly outdoor music events for the whole family. Join us today, our Public Relations Coordinator, Susan Miura, and Teen Librarian, Katie Lamattia. Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. Well, tell me what you do.
Well, as the Public Relations Coordinator, I promote our programs and tell the community what we've got going on. And with articles in the Daily Herald and just, you know, in a variety of ways. With this program guide, we have all of our programs in here, all
Sure.
of the events coming up. And this summer, of course, we have some amazing events coming up. We've got our free concerts every week in Town Square, children's programs.
You got a lot of people coming out for those too, don't you?
We do. We have hundreds of people that come out because it's free and it's really quality entertainment
Sure.
and a huge variety of entertainment. Everything from big bands to 60s music to swing and jazz.
You give dance lessons too, don't you?
We do. We actually, the Park District does the dance lessons, but we help them promote those
sure.
too.
No, it's great cooperation between the library and the village and the Park District.
Yes,
and-
it is. It's a nice that we're all working together and providing this great free entertainment for the
I was
community.
talking to somebody at Bonefish the other day and indicated that the outdoor patio is being used because of the music at the amphitheater.
That's
You guys
true.
right.
People will come to the concert and then either before or afterwards they'll go to Bonefish for a meal or they'll go to Oberweis for some ice cream. So it kind of is nice for everybody.
Yeah, that fountain, the parents bribe their kids to come out of the fountain by offering the ice cream. Right?
Yes.
And what do you do?
I am a teen librarian, and so I plan and run programs for teenagers ages 12 through 19, essentially. I try to come up with new and innovative programs that the kids generally would like. During the summer, we have kind of a different variety. We don't have clubs as much anymore. We have different things like CSI for teens, self-defense. We have a City of Bones party, which is a popular teen book
City
series.
of Bones party.
Yes, it's a popular book series that they're turning into a movie, and the kids really love it. So we try to kind of cater to what they want also.
That's interesting. How long have you been doing this?
This is my second year as a teen librarian, my fourth year as a teen programmer.
Okay.
So I've been with Schaumburg for 4 years now.
And you've been living in Schaumburg all your life?
I have been. Schaumburg is actually my home library, and so I kind of grown up with it. And now with our new teen center, we've gone from a 600 square foot area to a 6,000 square foot area, and it has made a world of difference.
That's an amazing room you have there. I
is.
had a chance to see it.
We have a digital production studio now with a green screen.
We're going to feel threatened here now.
So kids can edit and create music, songs, videos, anything they really want to do in there. They could add in different backgrounds, blow each other up on the screen, put themselves at the top of the Sears Tower if they want. Oh, Willis Tower. Sorry.
Yeah. So, you guys been, how long have you been with the library?
I've been there about 13 years.
Okay.
And we've been doing this summer concert series, I think, all of that time.
What's your most popular shows typically for the amphitheater?
The big bands get a lot of our seniors, but surprisingly, a lot of people come and bring young children too, and they're out there dancing and everything. We had a 60s group last week, and that was very popular. There, a lot of people like that type of music because it's very lively, and it kind of reminisces about
my kind of music.
Yeah, well, I liked it too. Jazz also is popular. And the nice thing too about the summer shows is that on Mondays we've got the music programs, but then on Tuesdays we've got children's programming.
Okay, all right.
And like coming up this...
What kind of crowds?
Big crowds, hundreds of people.
500, I think, for the last one.
Really?
It was excellent.
Wow.
And you could hear them from the library too, so.
Yes, and this Tuesday we've got X Games medalist Matt Wilhelm coming, and he does bike stunts and...
hope he doesn't end up in a pond.
I know. So far, we've had him back. Actually, I think this is the third or fourth time he's come, and he always gets a big crowd. We've got Circus Boy returning this year. He's like a juggler and a storyteller. Yeah, he does a lot of stunts.
That sounds like fun.
And then we've got.
Where do you get these acts? Where do you get them from?
We've got great programmers at the library, and they get brochures from people or look on the internet, or they talk to programmers from other libraries. They set these up months ahead of time. And some of them are local, and some of them are from, even from all over Illinois or even out of state. But many of them are local, especially our musicians.
What's your all-time biggest show? What?
For the summer concerts?
Sure.
I would not know what the biggest one is. Would you?
I don't know.
They
Our
all
Battle
get.
of the Bands gets a lot of people too.
That's the teen battle of the bands.
Yeah, oh sure.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it, with the term and the noise.
Yes, and actually it's an all ages show, so we have kids who generally up to age 21 actually for that, and they come and they perform. We've had kids as young as I think 12 who have won actually, so it's all different ages.
What can they win?
We usually give them a gift card to a local business.
Okay.
So, and everyone gets a prize, and everyone seems to really enjoy themselves because it's all different types of music. We have pop, we've had alternative, we've had a metal band win. So,
really?
Yeah.
And then the winners get their name in the Daily Herald, and we put their photo in our program guide, and so they get a lot of publicity out of it too.
What can we expect this summer and programs at the Town Square?
Let's see, in July, we've got coming Banjo Buddies. They are a returning
They've been around forever.
Yes.
They used to live in Schaumburg, I guess, at one point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right.
There's a Schaumburg connection.
We've got Bill O'Connell's Chicago Skyliners. Circus Boy is a July act that's coming for the kids, the one I mentioned. Billy Croft and the Five Alarm. And that's like rock legends, so that'll be different than the big band music. Duke Otherwise, the Ragtops.
Duke Otherwise?
Yes. Are you familiar with Duke
No,
Otherwise?
I just find it intriguing, the name.
And let's see, the Ragtops, which is like a blues and jazz, and then Battle of the Bands follows that. And we're going to end with Diva Montel, and the Steve Cooper Orchestra will conclude the summer.
Okay.
So lots of stuff going on. That's only the outdoor stuff. I mean, we've got all kinds of...
Yeah, you guys have an indoor capabilities too, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Tell us about it.
Do you want to tell about the team?
Yes.
Sure. We, of course, have our summer reading programs for the teens, and we did a little bit of a Facebook play on it, Put Your Face in a Book. So essentially getting the kids to read in addition to just their high school summer reading requirement.
Sure.
So basically they can read as many books as they want and can pick and write reviews about it. And those reviews add up and they can pick a prize according to it. So that's a very fun program for them. They can do it all summer long. We also have a Chicago Swordplay Guild demonstration where they have the Chicago Swordplay Guild comes in and they show off their weapons, their livery, and different
Wait,
styles.
we're talking swords here, aren't we?
Oh yes, these are real swords actually with the metal and the chain armor here. And they do real fighting demonstrations.
Inside the library?
Inside the library, and that's for teens and adults. So that's a fun program, and they hit each other pretty hard actually. And they
it sounds to me like it's one of your favorite shows.
It is. It's very interesting to see, and they always have something different each year.
Okay.
We also have self-defense moves for teens, trying to teach kids self-defense, not to hurt other teens, but in case you ever were in trouble. We also have a different our production studio is being used. So different ways you can use that. We have video makers, sound editing, creating rock band, using Rock Band, I should say. So.
Okay.
And she was mentioning the teen reading programs. We also have adult reading programs,
Okay.
and we're focusing on the Chicago area for our adult reading programs. So books that are set in Chicago or written by Chicago authors.
Okay. Well, once again, welcome to Schaumburg.
Thank you.
Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. For its 25th year, Summer Theater returns to the Prairie Center later this month with a production of Kiss Me Kate. Find out more next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. Since its inception in 1989, the Prairie Center's Summer Theater program has featured local high school and college-age actors in spirited productions such as Guys and Dolls and The Pirates of Penzance. This year's show will be Kiss Me Kate. Joining me today are Assistant Director Mike Concialdi and Jack Corkery, a man of many talents. Tell us about your involvement here at the Summer Theater program. How did you get started?
Thanks, Al, for having me. I started back in 1989 when the program started. I was a cast member back then, and for the first 8 seasons of the company's program, I was a cast member. And then I became too old to be in the cast, so I was made assistant director of the program, which I have done ever since.
I recall seeing you in a phony car, cardboard car, with this lovely lady sitting next to you, and she went on to greater things, and you're still here.
Clearly, she was the more talented of the two people, yes. That was in our production of On the Town, and Katrina Lank.
You were a sailor, right?
I was a sailor. I played ship in that show, and Katrina Lank played my love interest, and she has now gone on to do some Broadway and was in the Tony Award-winning musical Once, where she was actually on the Tonys a couple weeks ago.
She did Steppenwolf, too.
Yes, she is. She's been very much involved in the theater, far more than I have.
You guys keep in touch at all, or?
No, I think we're just the people that kind of helped her become who she was. I'd like to think. Yeah, I'd like to think that we had some part of it. Yes, I'd like to think that anyway. I don't know if that's exactly the truth, but it makes me sleep a little bit better.
Knowing that she's out there,
right?
And you had something to do with.
I'd like to think
with the arc of her career.
Exactly. I'd like to think that between me and our director Rob Palekis, that the two of us.
Wait. Rob's involved in this too.
Rob Palekis has been the director since its inception, and he told me that I have to say his name at least 5 times during this segment.
Okay, that's enough.
Yes. Okay.
Jack, tell us about your involvement.
The first experience I ever had with Schaumburg Summer Theater was I came to see the Mikado here. I think it was 3 years ago, and I was just amazed by the humor, the way it all came together. It was a great show. It was fun to watch. So I said, I want to be with this company. And then the next year, I was old enough to be eligible, so I did the Coconuts.
How old were you?
I was 13, I think.
13. Mm-hmm. When you did the Coconuts?
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's Marx Brothers show, right? Mm-hmm. And what did you do?
I did Harpo.
I'd say that's great. We each might have to cut to him from time to time when you're talking too.
Well, he's a lot more personable.
Is he?
Well, he's at least got the.
How did you
character
become a
down.
director? That's the thing. You know, how did you assume that? That lofty,
I think Rob decided that the only way to get rid of me was to hire me on staff, and so.
Wait. We hire you?
Well, maybe that's a secret I shouldn't have let out, but yes. But I was in college and in high school. I did shows, and I was an assistant director for Conant High School where I graduated. And so I think through the experiences with that, Rob took on the risk of having me as an assistant director here. And
you've directed this young man here.
Yes. Jack has been a fantastic member of our program for 3 years now. One of the youngest members, probably actually, to have principal roles. So for 3 years running now, he's not even out of high school, and he's already had 3 major roles.
You're still in high school? Mm-hmm. You just can't. You haven't graduated yet? What's wrong with you, Jack?
I don't know. They won't let me. Not yet.
But it's our program's benefit now because he'll have at least 8 years with high school and college that he can come and do our shows. So we're lucky to have him.
Oh, that's great. That's good. What's your favorite role?
I'd have to say Harpo. That was a lot of fun. It was just being in that show. All the stuff we got to do. It's a lot. Acting without speaking is a lot different and trying to create comedy than when you're allowed to use your voice. When you're not, it's like a whole different set of rules.
What's your second best choice as far as roles are concerned?
The one that we're in now, Kiss Me Kate, the gangsters, are a lot of fun too.
Okay.
So, even we're so early and already it's so much fun to play the part. So
you're a gangster.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, the purpose of this is not. You mind, tell me a little bit more about. Are you going to carry this forward beyond the summer theater programs?
Mm-hmm. No, I like acting a lot. I mean, I do at my high school. I'm in the theater program there. I do it in some other places.
What have you
too.
done in high school?
We just finished 12th Night, and I played Sir Toby Belch there. We also did the Laramie Project and Wizard of Oz. So we've had a busy.
Wizard of
season.
Oz?
Mm-hmm.
What were you?
The Cowardly Lion.
You look like you've got. That might be a good role for you.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's it.
There you go.
Why does he need direction?
He's very easy to direct, that's for sure. We tell him what to do, he does it, and he does it better than I think we envisioned in our mind. So.
And what kind of return do you get? I mean, you get young people coming through this program.
It's probably a mixed bag. We have a lot of returning members. We love having our committed members. The Willowbrook kids have come back in full force. But every year we have a new crop of youngsters that hear about
great
it.
Voices.
Oh my gosh, the talent in these shows, especially this one, is phenomenal. Our principals are great voices, great actors. They can dance. They're a triple threat.
When does the
really
show
impressive.
begin?
Opening night is July 26th. And 27th. It's the last Friday and Saturday in July. And then we have our second weekend is actually August 3rd and 4th, which is a Saturday-Sunday matinee. So Saturday at 8, Sunday at 2. In between, on Friday, August 2nd, is our 25th anniversary review show.
That sounds like fun.
Yes,
You're bringing back.
We are bringing back alumni
you're
from as many shows as we can. Exactly. So we're going back as far back as 1989 when we did Bye Bye Birdie back then. The guy who played Mr. McAfee, Carl Vachlin, he'll be coming back 25 years later. We have Schaumburg locals coming back, John and Jill Cunningham. We have Paige Ellman coming back, Dave Lemrys.
She's never left.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why we're all here, exactly. But it should be a lot of fun. So 25 years worth of shows.
So how much a segment of each of the shows?
Well, we have some ensemble numbers we're going to do. We're about 5 or 6 ensemble numbers with the full company of Kiss Me Kate, as well as the returning members. But we'll also have a 25-song medley, if you will, that will encompass all of the years of our program. We'll also have video clips of people. You mentioned Katrina Lank earlier.
Has she agreed?
She has agreed. She'll do a video presentation from her location. Hopefully.
What is she in now?
I think she just got done doing Spider-Man, and now I'm not sure if she was on stage, like I said, at the Tonys for once, so I don't know if she's still doing something with that. So I don't know exactly what she's doing at this moment, but she just finished doing Spider-Man on Broadway. So, but she has taken some time out of her busy schedule, and she'll have a video clip, and we'll have some other.
Who's the longest, the person who's been in most productions?
Wow.
And what would that production be?
You know, I don't know anyone who's gone more than 8 seasons, and it's myself. I know have been in 8 shows. I think there are a couple others who have been in 8 shows, and I'm sorry, I can't remember their names offhand, but it was earlier in the program, maybe in the mid-2000s, that we had some 8-year members. Rocco Renda, I know, has been in several, just off the top of my head thinking. So it's one of those things where if you get in early enough, you can make it last for as long as we'll keep you.
Now, beyond Miss Link, who else is going on to greater glory?
Well, John Cunningham has done some. I think he's produced and directed some shows in the area. I don't know exactly where, but he's done a lot of theater stuff. He's part of Equity, and there have been others. I don't think as famous as Katrina probably, but equally successful in their respective.
Well, it sounds
areas.
like a great show.
It should be a lot of fun. It's very fun.
Kiss Me Kate's a wonderful musical, isn't it? Yeah.
The music of Cole Porter. It's fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And that'll do it for this episode of Speaking of Schaumburg. I'll see you around town. Make sure you see them at the show.